I'm Draken and this is the DrakenWerks, and we are over in the shopping district at the moment where we are having to drop off 10 diamonds for a compass to an area that we've already been to, but in order to actually build there you've got to have the compass. So yeah, so we have to drop off the 10 diamonds anyway. So this is the 25th episode that we have done on the Unorthoblocks server, and actually this recording we're seeing at the moment was done on the 25th of December. Coincidence? I think not. Anyway, we are carrying on here, and we're going over to the Christmas district for a particular reason. So this is the never route through the tunnel, and this thing always bugs me. Is people leaving minecarts on the rails. It causes you to bounce back, and you have to run after the other minecart that you're using, and yeah, it's a bit of a pain. But anyway, so we're jumping through into the Christmas district because it is Christmas Day, or it was Christmas Day when I was recording this. It won't be Christmas Day when I release this. It'll be a couple of days on. But yes, we're here in the Christmas district here, where everyone's got their various different sort of Secret Santa stuff there. So you got Sunny's had their parcel there, and over here I think we've got Loon's parcel is over here as well, or present is over here, and yeah, everyone's had their Secret Santas. And here's LadyBex's Secret Santa. We did the one for LadyBex. We'll talk about that a bit more later on, but we'll leave her to reveal more about it. Rat Dog's Secret Santa, but there's another Secret Santa missing. Like, someone hasn't got a Secret Santa. I didn't get my Secret Santa. No one sent me anything on the server. That was so sad, but never mind. We turn around, we set this up. This is something that we built. This is why we wanted to pay the 10 diamonds so that we could build it here. It was just to build a small little platform at the side of the ice rink. But we wanted to put it over to there. And yeah, coming back a couple of days later, and this is like a couple of days later, we had here Mighty High had dropped off some presents for everyone, which was really, really cool. So we came back and collected those as well. It was just to show that what Mighty High had given us all, which was like a couple of shulker cells, which was very handy, and some diamonds and TNT and stuff like that as well. So thank you very much, Mighty High, for your present. That's very much appreciated. I'm sure everyone who's had one of these very much appreciates it. But yeah, going back to what we just showed off very briefly a minute ago was these sort of kegs of eggnog that I built over here. And each of these contains quite a bit of various goodies for each and every single member of the server. Except when I came back to it a couple of days later, when we picked it up, yeah, one of them's gone missing. And at first I thought, oh, has someone taken the barrel as well as all the goodies inside? And then I looked around and realised there's some like damage here. There's a post missing from one of the other barrels, and I'm sure I didn't label that one up as Tobster, so I'm sure that sign's been blown up as well. So yeah, we've I think there'd been a creeper strike there at some point, so I hope no one's lost their presents or anything else like that. But this Christmas district has done so well. The guys have done such a good job on doing everything around here. You can see here, this Rat Dog built this one up here. This is Santa Claus sitting up here with his reindeer, which if you fly underneath them, the reindeer look like they've probably had a bit too much Christmas dinner, but from a distance you wouldn't be able to tell. As we come back over here, we got like loads of builds here. We got the railway by Mighty High, we got the snowman by Mighty Beard. I know there was the Christmas hat was done by LadyBex, and there's various other builds like the Christmas tree was by Mighty Beard again as well. A few of the guys have come together down here and built some awesome stuff. I recommend going and checking out their videos to see what it is that they've built in this region, because a lot of people put a lot of effort into this at the very last minute, and they're doing something. They should be very proud of what's happened here. Meanwhile, as we were heading back, we came across this on the way back to our base from the Christmas district, which was just this random llama just wandering around in the Nether. Like, where did he come from? This is, I think, either Mighty High's or Shelly Rooley's sort of area here. They got some sort of storage area here in the Nether for something here. But yeah, there was just this random llama coming over here and using the work table and the furnace and stuff like that. As you do. But the other thing we had back in the base here was we had a present here as well, which was sent to us by Forge One. Thank you very much, Forge One. And an awesome amount of stuff in there as well. Loads of like diamonds and iron and totems of undying and stuff like that. That's all very handy as well, which is really nice. So a few people here like Mighty High and Forge One, ourselves, had shared gifts with everyone on the server. But there was still no sign of the Secret Santa. But in the meantime, we decided we would go out and chop up most of the forest. I needed a lot of wood for a lot of stuff, and so we came out and we've been digging out here. And you say, oh, you got a farm, haven't you, Draken, for doing spruce? Yes, but I need to clear this area for later projects, so I thought I'd start digging some of the stuff up. But I came across this, and this was like, what's this? As I'm clearing the forest, I have cleared out from the base to this far, and then I suddenly remembered, if we open this up, and inside of here there's 2 foxes. And you remember that we moved our tamed foxes last time, but these were the original wild foxes that we bred our tamed foxes from, going all that time back. And I remember this being like miles and miles away from our base, and now it's like just around the corner. Like, that's how big our base has grown to. So it's like, yeah, so we just dismantled that. so it wouldn't be a DrakenWerks video without a sudden quick time-lapse just interrupting everything for a second there. But here's something I'm going to have to do. I've gotten a bit of a shulker monster turning up here where we just got too many items sort of gathering around this. So I'm going to have a bit of a clean up and a sort out around my base and everything there because there's just too many shulkers there. But as you saw from the time lapse there, we had done a little bit of building this week. Obviously we had Christmas Day, so I could actually spend most of Christmas Day I spent building because there wasn't a lot to do this year. So yes, we have another airship because why not? It wouldn't be an episode without a new airship. So this one is the IDAV Mistopheles. Yes, that is deliberately spelt that way for a reason. And yes, it is a sailor class as well. That joins the two Demelza classes that we have just floating around outside the base itself. And you can tell that this has been taken around the Christmas Day period because all the chests have turned into Christmas presents. As you can see there, the green and red chests there and everything else that it turns up. But that's not the only things we've built. If we fly down into our base here and start getting it to load up, you can see that I haven't loaded it all up properly yet, so it's just going to wait for it to load in here. You can see there's been quite a bit that has been built. So we come down here to where we have the Demelza class that was under construction that we worked on last week, and you can see we now have a small bit of housing here. Now at this point it's like, yeah, it's just more housing, you know, it just looks like any other housing that you've built in the area, Draken, you know. And yeah, you'd be right. I mean, this is actually these are quite small units though. I made them quite deliberately short and small squat units and everything else like that. And the idea is these are probably more, we don't want to say cheaper, we'll say more affordable, I think is the actual estate agent's term for it. A more affordable housing for those who don't have quite as much money. You know, okay, so they might have to put up with all the banging from the ship being constructed right opposite them, but you know, it's going to be rather cheaper to use and everything as well. Coming back through here, I love this. Walking through the town, it feels more like walking through a town and a city now. Like we've got all these roads branching off to different places and various different buildings around as well. As we come around here, we can see some of the new builds we built in the last week as well. So we've got the museum. You probably didn't see it on the time lapse. In fact, it wasn't on the time lapse. We didn't the top dome at the top. So we built most of the museum on the time lapse, but the dome at the top there was added afterwards because I was just looking for something to complete it off because I felt that the roof was just not looking right. So I just built one of those domes, and I think that sort of sorts it out. But this is our museum because I wanted somewhere to build, like, save relics that we will gain through our time on the server. So we got here the compass to the Christmas district. We have now put into its own case, and then we got some books here as well. From, like, there was a threat from Mighty Hive early on, and then we had some Secret Santa instructions and stuff like that. Over here we have the Wheel of Challenges that we completed that we did for Forge 1's Wheel of Challenges, and then we put on Book of Doom, which is actually the Statues book, which is the first time I've used the Statues book. I hadn't worked out how to use the Statues book before now, and I needed to do it for that compass, to put the compass in the thing, and actually it's relatively easy, so maybe we'll do some more statue work in the future as well, because that was pretty cool as well, actually, now having learnt it. So we went up and looked up Zombie Clear's video on this sort of stuff. But coming over here, you can see we got something very odd in here. We're talking about we didn't get our sort of Secret Santa thing. Well, that was not quite strictly true. So you see, on Christmas Day, I ended up with these two horses like this, and I got sent a texture pack that was supposed to turn these into two little My Little Ponies, but as you can see, the texture pack didn't quite work out, and it ended up with the textures looking like this. Apparently the models have changed since the texture pack had done, which has caused the textures to all get messed up and everything else like that. But it was Loon who was to give us our Secret Santa. He actually popped on Christmas Day while we were running around and gave us a shout, and we did some recording. Unfortunately, my OBS didn't pick it up, so we were having problems with my OBS. So all the recordings and audio recordings, the replay mod here is really weird. It sort of put him in a weird position when I was doing back on the replay mod. But yeah, he came and grabbed us and sort of showed us our Christmas present, our Secret Santa. So we did get it in the end. Yay! But check out his videos because I'm sure they'll soon come along and we'll have the actual audio of me and him meeting here. But the texture pack did turn around and also change these Zoglins over here to look like My Little Pony Zoglins. So I wanted to show those off very quickly. He took us over to the Nether to show off these different coloured Zoglins all around and everything else, and how they look with the My Little Pony pack on there. So that was the pony that we did ask for with our Christmas list there. So yeah, we did get our Secret Santa in the end. Hey, thank you, Loon. Very much appreciated. Coming down to the rest of the build, after we get to the museum, we've also got a lot more housing again. Yes, more housing. I know. Yeah, we need to. I mean, the majority of a city is going to be made up of housing, so we need a large variety of houses and various different alleyways. And what I like about this area is that we have these little back areas as well that we can go around, and sort of leads to various different parts of the actual buildings and various homes all around. You can see them all sort of centered around here. So yeah, I think this is sort of turning it. This has got quite a nice feel when you're running through these areas. Actually, I quite like it, and this whole area has turned out quite well. And bear in mind, this used to be all grass and everything else down the front here and hills, so it's developed well. We've got to sort out the walls over the back as well. I'm just running back here just to show that, yeah, this area also leads to somewhere. There are more houses down here as well. we're, as expected there. But yeah, so if we could head on back around to the corner in a second here, you'll be able to see that in addition to sort of doing all of these, something that I didn't pick up on the time lapse is that we also built a few little ships as well. You know how I like my ships, but these aren't like big ships. These are little tiny little fishing boats and everything else. Now these are designed by Lord Dakar again. As you guys know, I've mentioned before previously, he's inspired a lot of designs in the past. These are actually exact replicas of Lord Dakar's fishing boat designs. The problem is when they're quite small, you can't put a lot of detail into them because they're small things, so we can just try and do the best we can. So I built a few of these smaller ones because they were easy enough and quick enough to build, and just put them out there onto the bay itself. Though actually I think I prefer the second design, which is this one here with the triangle sail that we're about to have a look at here. Yeah, that one, the triangle sail on there, I think looks much nicer, and maybe we'll build a few more of those because I'm going to build a bit more of a harbour around to the other side as well, on the other side of the bridge. Just to sort of connect that up. But this is the beginning of the sort of like the little fishing boats that belong to the people in the city, not necessarily the big military and cargo vessels that we see elsewhere, docked up elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, if we sort of look around here, we can have a look at future plans. We're talking about like building the harbourage around to this area over here, cutting around by the island. I'm not sure if I keep the island or not. Maybe we get rid of it. Well, maybe probably get rid of a couple of those islands anyway, and just have like little sandbanks there and stuff like that. But definitely got to sort of build up around this area coming over there. So that's a plan for future episodes. Maybe next week, maybe the week after, we'll see when we'll get around to doing that there. And it's not the only sort of things here. When we've got to build these walls as well, we've got to finish off the towers. There's still a bit of work to do on the inner city before we can start on the outer city. And then if we come down here, you can see there's still a few little gaps in and around the town itself as well here. So we've got just behind the generators here, the cobblestone and basalt generators, we've got a bit of space here, which maybe we could probably big enough probably to put a couple of houses in here as well. Not sure what we're going to do next to the museum, because that's not quite so big, but we'll have a look at that. And also when we come around here, you remember these houses and warehouses we built before, going back quite a few months ago now, and you'll notice one thing that we are missing here compared to the other areas is we haven't got all the flowers and the bushes and everything, so we've got to get that sorted. We've also got to finish building the walls around to this section here as well. So the walls sort of come up, you can see sort of the green wool in the background there where the walls have got to go to, and this is where the sort of fortifications for the inner city are going to end up. And this area we're flying over now, that's going to have to be cleared out as well, and we're going to turn around and make that into some sort of park outside the Drakenspire. But as you saw, there was a lot of residential buildings there, and there's a lot of interiors to be worked on and designs to be dealt with, and that's going to take a lot of work, especially if we've got a lot of work to do elsewhere in the city as well. To finish the inner city, do the outer city, I've got to finish the spire itself as well. So I'm going to probably need to enlist some help as well to help us out with this. So doing all the interiors of the housing inside there, it might be, there is one person on the server who would be really handy for that. Now I meant to bring a book and quill over with me, but then realised that I forgot to bring the quill. So I couldn't write into the book to give my exact specification of what I wanted, so I was like, I can't be bothered to go back. How about we just rename the book and say, hey, we need help? So that's what I was doing there. So that's not the proper way you're supposed to fill in the book. You're supposed to get a pen and ink and turn around and do it properly. But yeah, we've done it that way. And of course, the one person on the server who is absolutely brilliant at doing interiors, and she recently did some great work inside of Mighty Beer's ones, is of course LadyBex. So we're putting that across over there to see if LadyBex is quite happy to come and help. See if LadyBex can come and help us out with doing some interior designing on some of those residential buildings over there. Now I kept this bit in a bit further as well because I love this. Because I looked up in the sky and I was like, hang on a minute, where's my ship gone? And then suddenly it appeared, like it just suddenly decloaked. I love that. That looked cool as it suddenly like decloaked in the air, like my ship was hiding and then suddenly just appeared out of thin air. Pretty awesome. But yeah, so we've got a lot more work to do around here, but it's starting to take shape. This is starting to feel like a town properly. We've got all these different parts of air coming all around that we're just walking into, actually into the residential district. And you've got like this main street that we're on. This bit goes from where the residential district is here all the way down to the Drakenspire, and it's absolutely brilliant little section there. But I want to thank you all for coming along, joining us. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and a great New Year as well. I'm off for the next week, so that's probably going to give me a lot more time to do a bit more on here, so don't be surprised if the next one's going to be like loads of stuff being done, or maybe not. I may decide to go off and do other things because I've got the time off. But yeah, we'll be back again, of course, next week, next Sunday. I think Sunday's my new release day. It used to be Thursday, but Sunday I think works well for us. So we're going to keep releasing on these days here and seeing how it goes there. But I just loving this feeling as we're walking through and we're getting there. I can hear the cat getting in the background there. One of my cats is screaming and shouting. She loves doing that a lot. But there we are. I am Draken. This is the DrakenWerks. Don't forget to check out all the rest of the Unorthoblocks members down below with all their videos and everything else will be in the description. I'll also link up to Lord Dakar's videos. You guys have a good time. Take it easy.